Celebrity relationships often capture public attention, especially when they stand the test of time.
It's so cliche, but we just really like each other. We're most happy in each other's company.
Today, we take a look at 50 famous celebrity couples who have defied the odds and maintained strong bonds over the years.
Before we start, we'd like you all to know that we've been married for 24 years.
Get ready for a journey filled with nostalgia and heartwarming moments that will remind you why true love knows no expiration date. Meryl Streep and Don Gummer in 1979. And here they are now in 2024. Meryl and Don have been together for 45 years. Michelle Pfeiffer and David E. Kelly in 1993. And 31 years later, Lisa Kudrow and Michael Stern in 1995. And nowadays, Lisa and Michelle have been together for almost 30 years. Tom Selleck and Jillie Mack in 1986. And 37 years later, Steve Carell and Nancy Carell, 1995. And in 2024, Steve and Nancy have been together for almost 30 years. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw in 1996. And 28 years later, Leslie Mann and Judd Apatow, 1996. And here they are now in 2024. They've been together for 28 years. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas in 1998. And 26 years later, Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shaye, 1994. And nowadays, Pierce and Keely have been together for 30 years. Helen Mirren and Taylor Hackford, 1985. And 39 years later, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban in 2005. And in 2024, Nicole and Keith have been together for almost 20 years. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith in 1995. And here they are now in 2024. Jada and Will have been together for more than 20 years. Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, 2007. And 17 years later, Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel in 2007. And nowadays, Justin and Jessica have been together for 17 years. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. in 1997. And 27 years later, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, 1984. And here they are now in 2024. Tom and Rita have been together for 40 years. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell in 1983. And nowadays, Goldie and Kurt have been together for more than 40 years. Michael Caine and Shakira Baksh, 1973. And here they are now in 2024. Michael and Shakira have been together for more than 50 years. Denzel and Pauletta Washington in 1983. And 41 years later, Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick in 1987. And in 2024, Kevin and Kyra have been together for 37 years. Beyoncé and Jay-Z, 2002. And 22 years later, Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham in 1986. And nowadays, Oprah and Stedman have been together for 38 years. Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson in 1980. And 44 years later, Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan, 1988. And here they are now in 2024. Michael and Tracy have been together for 36 years. Jamie Lee Curtis and Christopher Guest in 1984. And 40 years later, Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, 1998. And here they are now in 2024. Victoria and David have been together for 26 years. Sting and Trudy Styler in 1985. And 41 years later, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, 1996. And 28 years later, Julia, Louis-Dreyfus, and Brad Hall in 1982. And nowadays, Julia and Brad have been together for 42 years. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance, 1995. And in 2024, Angela and Courtney have been together for almost 30 years. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne in 1980. And 44 years later, Jeff Bridges and Susan Geston, 1977. And here they are now in 2024. Jeff and Susan have been together for almost 50 years. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick in 1993. And 31 years later, Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen, 1993. And nowadays, Ted and Mary have been together for more than 30 years. Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor, 1999. And 25 years later, Keith Richards and Patty Hansen in 1979. And nowadays, Keith and Patty have been together for 45 years. Christopher and Georgianne Walken in 1964. And 60 years later, Maggie Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard, 2001. And 23 years later, Bono and Allison Hewson, 1980. And 44 years later, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively in 2010. And here they are now in 2024. Ryan and Blake have been together for 14 years. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, 2008. And 16 years later. Annette Bening and Warren Beatty, 1991. And in 2022. Julia Roberts and Daniel Moder in 2001. And 23 years later. Jessica and Jerry Seinfeld, 1999. And nowadays. Ed Harris and Amy Madigan, 1983. And 41 years later. Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin, 1988. And Sylvester and Jennifer in 2024. Rob Lowe and Sheryl Berkoff in 1989. And 35 years later. Calista Flockhart and Harrison Ford, 2002. And 22 years later. Ron and Sheryl Howard in 1970. And in 2024. Ron and Sheryl have been together for more than 50 years. Melissa Joan Hart and Mark Wilkerson, 2002. And 22 years later. That's it. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe. See you later.